My business is a decor and interior business, which I actually started from home. I was home based from 2011, and then in 2014 I opened my first shop. And then a year ago we actually moved to bigger premises. I think probably mostly the isolation from friends and in particular family, I think has been the biggest sort of impact on our life personally. You know, even now, so many months down the line, we still haven't seen close family members. I think the biggest thing for businesses, small businesses in particular, has been the financial implications of it. Small businesses don't tend to have a lot of reserves. So it puts a lot of pressure on you financially when your doors are closed for like a 3-month period, but your expenses are still there. That definitely puts pressure on your credit lines, puts pressure on your finances and your resources. To some extent we have, because at one point during the lockdown they opened up the channels for e-commerce. And although my business is predominantly in a formal retail environment, we had an opportunity during lockdown when they opened up the e-commerce to look at that side of the business. So we always had a website, but it wasn't one of those like shop online kind of websites. You couldn't load your trolley and check out. But it was still an avenue for us to generate some sort of revenue during lockdown because we could open up under that section. So we did do a bit of e-commerce trading, and it certainly kind of made us start thinking about that as an alternative for our business. So at the moment we actually are busy building a proper e-commerce site for the retail shop. South Africa could have handled it differently in general. You know, I think having this closed group of individuals making decisions for a whole country was something that could have been done differently. I think it should have been more collaborative. I think it should have been more transparent. My concern really was for smaller businesses that are more like in informal trading. You know, I think they could have done more, because how did those people access like COVID tours, and how did they access the facilities that were made available to small businesses? So I think the informal small businesses were the ones that actually suffered the most, because they really fell through the cracks. I don't think so, because actually we came out of lockdown quite strong. And I don't know if it's because people were trapped in their homes. You know, maybe just the nature of the business that I'm in, being like decor and interiors. I think people were trapped in their homes during lockdown. So they all came out, all sort of fired up on wanting to do things for their homes. From that point of view, I think that there was like this sort of wave of interest in like the decor industry. Whether that's sustainable or not remains to be seen. And I also think because people who typically would have had money weren't spending their money on restaurants and travel and all that kind of stuff, they did come out of lockdown to some extent a little bit with more disposable income to spend on things like their homes. So initially coming out of lockdown, we were actually fine. You know, it's always going to be a little bit of a recovery period because you've incurred so many costs with no revenue coming through the lockdown. So there's always a bit of a recovery period on that.